Hello friends, welcome to my channel Explore with Joyeeta.
Indian Railways is the fourth largest network in the world, spanning over 1.2 lakh kilometers across the country. Mainly three kinds of services are provided by the Indian Railway to the public, including express trains, mail express, and passenger trains. If we talk about the fare, then passenger trains fare are the lowest and mail express trains are the highest. On the other hand, express trains fare lie in the middle. India was known as the golden bird in the medieval period. Indians had gold, different spices, and textiles no one even heard about. And most importantly, Indians have unity, honesty, and integrity, which made it difficult for the British to rule us right away. Before British India was ruled by Mughals with Akbar's dynasty. The British invaded India asking for permission to set up the company. They were granted permission with some limitations. British came to India in 1608, started ruling from 1858 and devoured it till 1947. They first came to India as traders with East India Company banner. Gradually, they started setting up more and more trading centers. In 1668, Charles II married Catherine of Braganza and English was gifted with Bombay. They initially started setting up a company by asking the permission of native rulers. This period was known as Company Rule and the British were looking forward to Crown Rule. After they were having disputes with native rulers, they had to fight the Battle of Plassey in 1757 and this brought them Crown Rule. They had a term for India at their rule, British India. Every move taken by British government was for their good. By seeking their benefit while introducing railway in India, the British did something incredible for us but at their terms of benefit. Prior to the advent of railways, Indian transportation was conducted by two systems, road and water. Constructed roads were few and poorly maintained, with many being inaccessible during monsoon season. On roads, goods were carried in bullock carts or carried manually on the heads of porters. British was struggling with transportation problem and they came up with the idea of the introduction of railways. They felt that after the introduction of railway, transportation of raw material will be faster and it will also bring economical development to the country. George Stephenson, the father of trains, gave British Rail a practical outcome. In Britain, railway was started in 1825 and first rail ran across Stockton to Darlington. It was to use steam locomotive and was only for carrying mineral. By 1830, the British Railway developed a public railway carrying both passengers and goods. It was opened by the Manchester and Liverpool Railway. By 1870, the railroad was evolved to the extent of 13,500 miles. In 1832, the idea of setting up a railway system in British India was first proposed. At that time, rail travel was still in its infancy in Britain. But the East India Company knew the benefits of developing an extensive rail network. After a long decade of inaction, private entrepreneurs were allowed to establish a rail system by Lord Hardinge, the Governor General of India, in 1844. Two companies were formed by the year 1845, namely East Indian Railway Company and the Great Indian Peninsula Railway. The railway has become a source of surplus to their capital and they were gaining 5% of the return of the investment, though it did help them on different levels. Lord Dalhousie served as the Governor General of India from 1848 to 1856. He is also said to have convinced the British to introduce the railways in India through his famous Railway Minutes of 1853. Thus, he is regarded as the father of Indian railways. 17th August 1849 was the date when they finalized construction of railway in India. The name given to the railway was the Great Indian Peninsula Railway. Jagannath Shankar Shet was the one who introduced Railway Association to India along with Sir Jamsetji Jejeebhoy built the first train in India. Although the concept of railway system entered India in 1850, trains came to India in 1853 only. On 16 April 1853, the first passenger train in India was to run between Bodhi-Bandar, Bombay and Thane at a distance of around 34 km. The train had 14 carriages and was carrying 400 passengers. It had three locomotives named Sultan, Sindh and Sahib. The length covered by the train was around 21 miles and it ran approximately for 45 minutes. By 1860, 8 railway companies were launched in the country, including Eastern India Railway, Madras Railway, Great India Peninsula Company, and others. Most of these companies were approved and commissioned by the then kings of India. Between 1870 to 1900, many companies were liquidated and external contractors were hired for controlling the railway. The length of the railway system reached 9,000 miles in this region, mainly around Bombay, Calcutta and Madras. By the end of 1890, the trains started to gain many amenities like toilet, electric lights and others. The mountain trains, now called as the toy trains, were first proposed in 1854. However, the first mountain train started its maiden trip on 1881. The first mountain train of the country is the Darjeeling Himalayan Railways. Later, many other mountain train routes were linked, connecting highland towns with the rest of the country. First toilets were introduced in the first class coaches in 1891. Only by 1907 the lower classes were provided toilets. Between 1901 to 1925, Indian Railways started to make profit. Under the rule of Lord Curzon, the railway department started to flourish. East Indian Railways and GIPR were nationalized by the end of this reign. During the First World War, the service of Indian Railways degraded monumentally. The fund and other resources of the railway department were routed to the war needs by the British government in India. Between 1925 to 1946, the first electrical train was developed. The size of the system grew and started serving an average of 620 million passengers each year. Impact of railways in British India. Introduction of the railway have profited British India in many ways, like it helped them in economic development of India by benefiting government with a return of 5% of its investment. It reshaped the status of both domestic and foreign trades in India by quick transportation of raw and agricultural goods. It became forerunner of industrial development by widening the market to the international level. It increased the agricultural output, export, import of grains and took agricultural to a commercial level. It decreased the transportation costs on everything and made it easy for everyone to avail of goods at a reasonable price. It opened up employment opportunities for rural people by providing them jobs at different levels. So British India was definitely benefited by the railway in every sector. From there, Indian Railways has developed into a superpower industry. After independence and separation of states, numerous railroads were built to connect different regions. The first train between India and Pakistan started in 1951. All the trains were electrified and modernized. This was the bloom period of Indian Railways. Between 1980 to 2000, technology started to gain more momentum and metro systems started in India. The major revolution of Indian Railway, luxury trains, started in India. The run of luxury trains started with Palace on Wheels in 1982 by Government of Rajasthan and Tourism Department of India. By 1995, the countrywide network provided reservation and ticketing system to Indian Railways. At present day, metros and monorails are thriving within cities. Online ticketing system started in 2000s and is one of the major ways of booking train ticket. Today 4.5 billion km was additionally covered in just 10 years. Now the train tracks cover more than 123,542 km of the area in India, and special amenities like Wi-Fi, customer information system, ergogenic designs and green technologies have taken Indian Railways to the next level. Today about 1.54 million people work for Indian Railways. Recent developments of railway system include technological amenities in unreserved class, high horsepower electric locomotive, GPS based passenger information system, sliding doors, private catering services, and many others. There is always a next step for Indian Railway. The technology team is diving deep into finding greener source of powers. Today, India is synonymous with transportation, but budget friendly and the common man is Indian Railways, where on the one hand we have ordinary railways. Every day, the railway sector in India is making new progress and has many high speed and luxury trains in India. Now we have moved from simple trains to bullet trains. Indian Railways divide its operation into zones which are further subdivided into divisions, each having divisional headquarters. There are a total of 19 zones and 70 divisions on Indian railway system. British had used every resources of India, but in the argument, everyone used the phrase that even though British plundered our health, wealth and most probably peace, they left us railway, cricket, education and tea. But this is just one of the myths because it was not a gift at all. Just like English language was not a gift. Railway was opened to benefit them. It was just a colonial scam ran by British government. They invested just to get back all the surplus to their capital. Even the taxes were paid by the Indians. Indians were not even given jobs in a good position. They all were reserved by British people. The only job given to Indian was as mechanics. They only gave us railway to exploit it as much as they could. It was not a thoughtful gift at all by them.
So friends, this was my video today. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed this video, do like and share. And don't forget to subscribe my channel to get more fascinating videos like this. Thank you. Bye bye.